Rosie, and welcome to Ships, the relationship show where we chronicle the difficult and hidden world of true-to-life relationships. Well, what's up, squad?
Hey.
Hello.
Oh, gosh, how's everybody doing? Pastor Rick, how you doing? I see you clean and
fantastic. Fantastic, because I'm excited about the topic today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready to get into it.
I want to help somebody.
Okay. Janine, how you doing?
I'm feeling fantabulous, darling. Thanks, Fast.
Fantabulous. Okay. And of course, Dr. Collins.
It's all good. Let's get it.
Let's get it. All right. So we're going to start off with a message in a bottle before we get into today's topic. So are you guys ready?
Let's go.
Ready?
Let's do it.
Message in a bottle, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right. First letter. Ooh. Okay.
Is that a drum roll?
This she wrote this kind of small. Okay. Dear Ship Squad, I've been friends with this guy that I met in high school now for over 20 years. When we first met, we were digging on one another, but never officially dated. Eventually, we both started dating other people. One night in prayer, I felt that God said he would be my husband, and it was confirmed through a prayer partner years later. Now, when I finally went to him and said that I wanted to be with him, he said that he wasn't interested and had a girlfriend. I was devastated. I still believe that God said this man is my husband. Do I continue to wait? Signed, waiting patiently. Why are you laughing, Pastor? See, that's wrong because some people stop. That is wrong. No. Waiting patiently, girl. I feel you because God does tell some people.
Listen. If Pastor Zaya and I, we have this discussion at least a couple of times a year.
Yes.
When God tells you that this person is going to be for you, he will confirm it in the other person.
Come on.
That's just how it works.
Not in your prayer partner.
Right. So it's not he doesn't keep it a secret.
He doesn't keep it a secret.
I don't want to laugh. Stop, y'all.
God like, hey, listen. Junebug is your husband. Don't tell Junebug.
Don't tell Junebug.
Because he don't know.
No, sir.
But I'm telling you.
Well, Prince was my husband. You know, he just happened to leave this world a bit soon. But
how did that work out?
Okay. I mean, I didn't get to him in enough time. I feel like if I got to him in another time, we may better work some stuff out. You know.
Last time I checked, the man was somewhere other than here. Last time I checked. That's
what y'all think.
Here we go.
Shoot, he is on an island somewhere. No, I get what you're saying. However, I mean, this is huge in the Christian community. Where, and I don't know if that's with you guys. I agree. I don't think he's not going to tell the other person that, but is it possible that he hasn't told him yet?
Here is my take on this. When it comes to this type of stuff, we focus on the package. God's all about the content.
Yep.
See, it's not about who. When you study the scripture, God always gives guidelines of what qualifies for your spouse. Mm-hmm. When you study scripture, you don't see God just walking around hooking up people with a particular person in the universe. You find their fathers doing that. Right. But you don't see God orchestrating weddings because he gives you the parameter. He lets you know what it is. Not all about that who. You have the right to choose who you're going to marry. Now, you should choose within the parameters of God's guidelines and receive God's confirmation that this is what God told you about marriage. He said, be not unequally yoked. And then when people try to bring up, well, what about Hosea? He told him to marry Gomer. And you know what? Someone challenged me that, and I went back and studied it, and he did not tell Hosea to marry Gomer. Can I be honest? He told him to marry one of those whores. Hosea chose his whore. Yep. He took him. He sent him to the place. But the madam said, which one would you like?
Yep.
And Hosea said, you know what? Ooh, But no, the point that I'm making, in all seriousness, is God is more concerned with what you're marrying as it relates to the characteristics, the qualities, the things that will serve his purpose for your life. And it's not just one person or you just remove free will.
Okay, we know of some people that's waited 20, 30 years for someone they said God said that was their husband.
He never said
Come
it.
on now.
So
This person did say that. Pastor, this particular person did say God said was their husband. And years later, they did get married.
But we're not saying they can't, Zanja. I think you're missing the point. I'm not saying you can't, but I'm saying when this person has rejected you, that they do not feel the same. They're not interested in you. For you to put the rest of your life on hold when somebody has said no, that is not God's way. Oh my God. God called me to preach, but I still had to say yes.
Right.
God ain't gonna make nobody want you.
We cannot get away from free will.
That part.
Right? So God could say, yeah, this could work. I'll bless this.
Yeah.
This is, remember the books Choose Your Own Ending? You read to page 18, and then if you want to go on the adventure, jump to page 24. If you want to go back to the farm, go to page 32. Life is kind of like a choose your own adventure. God will say, yeah, this particular scenario will work out, but he doesn't trump free will.
That part.
So
now,
if the other person isn't down for it, then you have to decide, are you really going to waste valuable years of your life waiting for someone to say
change their mind?
And we have seen that, over and over again in the body of Christ.
Yes.
Personally, to someone who said, person after person came up to her and in her women's group said, that's your man, that's your man, that's your man. And I kid you not, everyone thought he was single. Well, he was dating somebody incognito. And he announced it on social media. The women, there were like 4 women that were saying the same thing. All of them were devastated. All of them came to me like, did you know? I'm like, did I know what? That he was dating. I said, first of all, no. Number 2, I don't care. No. But they laid out, they really put their lives on hold, believing that this was their man.
Yeah. And you know what makes me sad about it, Pastor Rick? Oftentimes those people get mad at God.
Yep.
Yeah.
God did it wrong.
But they didn't hear from him.
And go back to Janine's point of free will. Just think about it. God is such an advocate of free will.
Yeah.
That he don't force me to marry Jesus.
Right.
Now, if you was going to force a will, wouldn't it be for salvation?
Right.
If you were going to force something,
then
why would he force a person into marriage? And and I'm going to say this again. Let's say, as Janine just brought out eloquently, that God is saying, you know what, I will bless. Let's say God said, yes, I would do that. But if the person says no, that doesn't mean you no longer now get to be married because the one person on the planet said no. No, God don't work like that.
Yeah.
Right.
I hate to say it this way, but one monkey don't stop no show.
No show.
Come on now.
You got that right. You got that right. I agree, because one of the things that I tell my sisters, I said, suppose, because how many times have God told us, and not necessarily dealing with relationships, to do something and we didn't do it? So example would be, let's say he told the guy that she would be a good partner. He still said no because he like Big Booty Judy or whoever. At the end of the day, that's not your problem.
Hold on, Big Booty Judy? Yeah, he wouldn't turn that down. No, sir. No, man.
So you need to stop praying for him and pray for a bigger booty. No, I'm playing.
Y'all going to the hot place.
I'm not going with them. I'm
going to the hot place.
I'm not going with them.
sizzling hot.
I'm not going with that.
So hot. Anyway.
So look, I encourage that sister to take a step back.
Yeah.
Have another talk with Jesus. It's okay to go back and say, Lord, did I miss what you said? Ask what's going on. He's not big on secrets. There's some things that he will withhold for a time.
Right.
But something as important as who he wants you to be in a union with, because he's going to get glory out of that particular union, thus that ministry. That's not something that he's going to keep a secret.
Right.
So find somebody else.
Yeah. Move on. At the bare minimum, Janine, I can't wait till when you can tell your full story.
Because I told Gary deuces.
I know, but it goes to this point where, and even in my case, like, well, God didn't tell me, but I felt like God was showing me choices, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, some of them I messed up. Some is too late. I do believe windows happen. I really do believe. I didn't used to believe that, because some of us believe it's what's for me is for me. If he my husband, I'm gonna sit back and that's the one for you. Okay, you 90 now. I'm like Janine, eggs dried up, powder, everything. Your whole life.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Time. Right.
Jesus.
You can't get back time. And then you're bitter. And Pastor, you're so right when you say they're mad at God. Now that I know for sure. Mm-hmm. They're upset because you told me. No, God didn't. Then they're mad. You can't tell me what God told me. Okay, but the man is with somebody else.
Right.
Or the woman.
Right.
So you go on with your life. It gotta either look, they'll catch up with God or God will catch up with them, whatever. That's not your concern of business anymore. But I am telling you, I know a lot of sisters, their lives have stopped. This is their
God does not override free will.
Free will.
That's not.
God respects free will so much. Mm-hmm. He'll let me go to hell before he forces me to heaven.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now he will compel me, he will convict me, he will draw me, he will send forth the word to me through people, but it's my decision to accept him or not.
Completely.
Completely. That is so powerful. So ladies, dear patiently waiting.
I have one more question, John. One more question for dear patiently waiting. Why do we only do this with marriage? I never heard nobody say, God say that's my job. And they don't hire them, so they stay unemployed waiting on their job. You go eat.
I'm sure they do it. There's a lot of people on couches that could have jobs and are choosing not to get off the couch.
But that doesn't have mental health issues, or pulling around a suitcase in the street.
They're just not writing into us.
But with women, it's these men's.
No, I got a word from my pastor, Bishop Noel Jones. He says sometimes rejection is direction.
I've heard that one, yes, sir.
Trust and believe. If I'm eyeing somebody else, I'm thinking, maybe this is my wife prior to doing. And if they don't feel the same, that's not my wife.
Right.
No, it's true.
But isn't that your personality type, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people just don't like.
It's called dignity. It's called self-respect.
That's true.
But what if you felt a really
wait? Pastor Rick is trying to get something in.
Thank you. As a young man, I had wanted to date this particular girl. Maybe you've never been like this, but I have.
Come on.
I saw her and I was like, man, this is the one. I'm like, right out of high school. Man, this is the one, and so forth. And sure enough, what you said earlier, what you alluded to earlier, she had a big booty. So I sat there and said, Lord, let this one, be the one. I prayed just like that. So what happened is, I found out she was really into this guy who was in the army and so forth, yip. And I'm like, man, I was crushed. Years later, I'm married now, probably like 26, 27 years old. And I at the grocery store, and I hear somebody's voice saying, hey, Rico. I'm like, I haven't heard that in a long time. And I turn around, it was a young lady. She says, "Aren't you Rico?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm trying to figure out where I knew her from." She said, "That's me." And she gave me her name. I'm like, look nothing like she did back then.
You was thank you, Jesus.
Pretty much. I sat there, I literally got in my car. I said, "Father, I bless you. I thank you for closing. Father, for the rejection, for whatever it was. Thank you."
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be with the person I am today. And that's how you have to look at it, particularly when you're dating and you get rejected, or you're believing God for that husband or even wife. They reject you. That means it's an open door, and so God has something greater for you.
Yeah.
Right.
If I'm honest, most of my serious relationships came through process of elimination.
Yeah.
Most of the people I had long-term great relationship with went through the rejections to end up there. Like, if I'm just being honest, that's oftentimes how it happened.
Yep.
And I think, and I get it, I get somebody playing hard again. You want to try a while, but we're talking about people waiting years, like unhealthy amounts of time. I'm not talking about you, really trying to push the envelope because you think it may be something there. But after some point of time, you got to be like, okay, God, what's next?
It's that point of time, though. Remember, we were talking about that. Was it your point of time and my point of time, Janine's point of time? You got one time.
One time. Look, Gary said he wasn't interested. Let me tell you something. I said, check it out. That space I said I needed, that's still in play. I said, I don't know what it looks like, but I don't want to see you, hear you, talk to you, nothing. I don't want nothing that reminds me of you. Can we sit together in church? Absolutely not. He was like, what service are you going to? Whichever one you're not
going
to. Because
I don't understand that with y'all guys. I don't want to, that got to be a guy thing.
See, with men, it's a little different. Some of the men that keep trying, it ain't always because they want to marry you.
No, I hear you.
They have so much patience because they got a full schedule in between the next time they see you.
That's right. Say that, Jose. That's right.
No, I agree. That's why I just got that. Anyway, okay, guys.
Okay. See,
so we need to go 2 blocks for this next section. So we're gonna talk about tonight expectations. Expectations, man. And I have to admit,
that's why I was so excited at the beginning of the show.
Like, share, and
subscribe
to our channel, please. We love you. Like Butterflies Entertainment. I'm going to put up our email address, and again, send in your letters. Now, we love you. You don't have to give us your name. We're going to give you our honest opinion, clearly, but send in your letters. We're not going to bite. Butterflies Entertainment at gmail.com. So let me get started with these expectations, guys. So
agree or not?
Agree. I know, but do you guys feel that people have unrealistic expectations?
Totally. Completely.
We're going to start with the 11 unrealistic. So you think for the most part, people have unrealistic expectations in relationships.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. We're at the altar just as unrealistic as we could possibly be. I do promise to be unrealistic. Yes. Yes, Jesus. Forever and ever. Amen.
Yeah. Okay. It's okay. So these are some, and you guys tell me your thumbs up or thumbs down. We're going to start with 11 unrealistic, and then if we have time, we're going to go with some 11 realistic expectations. And if we don't finish this stuff, I would love to send this up to you guys in an email. You can hit me up.
We go get through all 22 of these.
All of them. Every last one of them.
Okay. In a relationship, having great sex always, is that an unrealistic expectation? I actually think that it is. I hear that a lot. Yeah. People think that the sex is supposed to be good every time, every day, every... Agree or disagree?
I disagree.
Impossible.
I disagree.
Impossible.
You got the wrong partner.
Disagree.
Me and Rick disagree.
Listen, let me tell you something.
So this is a very maybe we get to women now. Janine,
I'm going to get in trouble tonight. That's what I see.
Go ahead.
Y'all know people lie and fake, right? And fake it just to keep y'all ego in check.
Oh no, that means you don't know what you're doing because you should be able to know that.
Nobody said all that. We ain't doing that. What I am saying, having great sex always.
I said always.
Not happening.
Unrealistic. That's what I said. So right. So that's Pastor says that it's realistic to have great sex always.
I did say that.
Yes, he did say that.
I said always.
Yes.
Don't get us canceled. No. Don't get us canceled.
No, not true. No. And singing is not going to make it realistic. No.
Walk around smiling like the Insight Man.
No. What's number two? No. What's number two?
Always.
The relationship will always be the same.
No.
Of course not.
Right. Some people
unrealistic. Yes.
Very unrealistic.
It's
not anyone want to give a slight, or not slight, but a very simple example of how a relationship can change?
Yes, I have one. Menopause.
Go ahead.
Keep going.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No.
And that affects sex too.
That affects everybody.
It affects sex too. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Look, let me say, men go through their own change of life.
I agree with you.
Some of them, the change is so deep, they change wives. Come on. Come on. I mean, if you put menopause on blast, come on.
No, sometimes it's weight gain, weight loss when you're not as, you can't kind of keep you out of breath long. I mean, stuff, come on now. If you don't have the libido.
Well, we talking about sex or relationship.
It's the relationship being the same. He just went back to menopause. Menopause affects a whole lot of different stuff.
No, I didn't mention sex. No.
Menopause affects a lot of different stuff. I did. Menopause affects a lot of different stuff. But I agree with you.
I'm just saying overall, there's some things that you have to, when the word says dwell with your wife with understanding, I'm re-understanding now.
Yeah.
Good.
Won't always be the same. It's this thing called emotions.
Yes.
That's true.
And you know what? I'm going to clarify my first answer. For most people.
You said always.
For most people, sex ain't always great, but there are exceptions to the rule.
That's his ego. That's your ego talking.
Yeah.
That's your ego talking.
Yeah.
It's impossible for it to always be. Okay.
All things are possible.
Okay. That means you're always good.
Hey.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Next question.
Let's just go back to number one.
No, number three. Go to number 3.
We got 22 to get through, all right?
Go to number 3. Absolutely not. Unrealistic.
No, because unless you're just marrying God only.
Right.
Your partner is not supposed to meet all your needs.
Exactly. So people don't know that though. People don't know that. Yeah. So what I found, some people have other friends to meet the other needs that maybe their spouse can't meet. So how do you guys feel about that?
Wait, you got to be more
like an example would be let's say
you could be talking about friends with benefits. Like you need to clarify for the listening audience.
That's what
I got.
Go ahead.
I'm
Jimmy.
a Trekkie. My husband is not. I talk to my friends who are Trekkies about Star Trek stuff. Now, he respects my love for Star Trek. He will buy me Star Trek stuff, but he hasn't watched the legacy of Star Trek and all the different shows. He doesn't know all the characters. So he'll go to the movies with me, but I don't subject him to that because that's not his zhush. I go to my friends who love that kind of stuff. And we nerd out and it's great.
Makes sense. I watch sports with the homies.
That's what I was just going to say. Because some guys that I've dated, like I love certain things that like Prince. A lot of them won't go to a Prince concert, but when I go to a Prince concert, I don't want you to be there with me if you're not a Prince fan. That's just I want to go with somebody who I know going to be a nut like I was when I went to Paisley Park and be okay with it. just like, so that's important to me that I'm with someone that's genuinely, depending on what it is now, that's genuinely enjoying that particular activity that I'm a part of. So I agree with you, Janine. So certain things he would have his whatever, and I would have mine. So okay, so I agree on that one. Now this is one I have to admit that I had to learn. I used to think big blowouts. I guess we broke up. and would have moved on.
Hey, I think you should read them too, just in case somebody's only listening and washing dishes.
Okay, fights mean the relationship is over.
No, it doesn't mean that.
I know, but I used to kind of buy into that, depending on the blow up. I ain't calling him, and I wouldn't.
Well, we know.
And then he called, and then go ahead.
But it might mean that it should be over, and that's a whole nother episode.
That's another episode. And also, watch where I'm finna take it. No fights mean the relationship ain't gonna last.
Come on now.
So every good relationship has a fight.
Through nothing.
Yeah.
You got right. Yeah. That's how you know. Yeah. I tell people when they're dating, I said you never know how the person is until you have a good argument.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And you.
So yeah. I agree, because if you've never seen the person upset before,
you never know. You don't know what they can handle.
Yeah, you don't know them. You don't even know them.
That's right.
They don't,
and if no one gets upset about anything, then I would venture to say that the authentic versions of themselves have not shown up yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you can't do nothing to make them mad, they don't like you. They don't love you. They don't care.
Right. Right. That's a whole nother thing.
I gotta care enough about you to get mad at you.
Oh, that's true. If you're like, oh, Pastor.
No, unfortunately, there are some people that they're not being abusive verbally or even physically. And this is real talk. They have that issue where it says, well, he doesn't love me or she doesn't love me unless they do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's another
that's the other side of it. To be beaten if he ain't black in my eye. Yeah, you're right. Okay, number 5. Neither one of you will ever be attracted to other people.
Lies.
Lies, all lies.
As my wonderful Belizean wife would say, you liar!
Lying.
Yeah.
Lying.
You liar!
Liar.
What is it, Hosea?
Liar!
We need that as a soundtrack right there. That's a soundbite. And let's play that over. That's funny.
Oh, child. So yeah. So how do you deal with it when you are attracted to someone else?
You don't react.
You just be attracted to someone else.
How do you not react, Pastor?
No. What I'm saying, you be realistic. If anybody is ignorant enough or naive enough to think you're the only person that your spouse finds attractive. See, here's the problem. We take attractive meaning, oh, you want them? Ain't nobody said that. Anybody with eyes know when someone, this is a very attractive young lady. That ain't got nothing to do with want her or trying to look all. Listen, the problem is the double and the triple take. That's what you have to be aware of.
That's right.
You notice, praise the Lord, there is a God somewhere.
No, seriously, when I was single, I was trying to really keep myself. And this is what I did. I went to extremes. If I'm in the aisle and I see an attractive woman and I find myself in my mind like, man, she has a big, exactly, I will go down another aisle and just keep it pushing. When I got married, everyone thinks that stuff stops. No, those attractive women are going to be around you. Mm-hmm. To keep me, that's what I would go extreme. Like, no, I'm not going down that aisle because I don't want to look at it. Now, only guys who really understand what I'm talking about, they understand that taking a second look is the killer. You have to stay focused. You do.
Well, hey, I'll be taking some. So I can't do a double take. So
you can do a quadruple take. You single.
Yeah, you single.
No, I'm saying if I'm with I didn't know that if I'm with my my man. So if I see it not attractive,
But do you want to keep your eyes white? I'm playing. Yeah, I'm playing. Don't take this seriously.
So look, you know what?
Right in.
my rule of thumb is this. How would you want to be treated in that situation?
Respectfully.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Comes down to respect.
Exactly.
So if you wouldn't want the person that you're with to be hanging out the window drooling,
right,
then how about you not hang out the window and drool? I think that this kind of stuff should be common sense. We know that common sense is not common, but
sometimes, Janine, people are very, and this is the reason why I bring this up. Certain things that just don't bother me that may bother him. Or that may bother you.
That's y'all.
So,
that's the conversation that the two of you have.
That's what I'm saying. But it's more often than not that oh, Lord, I thought I lost you guys. Which is why I think the conversation is important. Because when you guys mention about, I get when you see a person, because I've been with a guy, they'll see somebody and they'll do a double take. That don't bother me. You know? So, if I get it, if like you said, if I'm like, woo child. Now, of course, that's an extreme. Right. So that's why I think when it comes to when we going back to the unrealistic expectations to see where people's some people is extremely jealous. Let me just say that you can't do nothing. You can't. So it's just it could be an issue across the board. So that's why I just asked you, Pastor, when you just made the comment about if you looked and then if you looked again. I've seen people where they've complimented the girl. I've seen that where she's like, "Oh, you look nice today." Or you look very handsome. Like if I saw you, I'm like, oh, I like your hair. Your hair is real handsome. So people get offended. That's why I'm asking.
Every relationship is its own unique organic thing. And that's why communication is key. Right. You can't go get the magazines, top 100 things to keep a man and all that kind of foolishness. You have to talk to the person you're with.
Right.
And you have to be willing to sometimes have the conversations of what do you like? What don't you like? What bothers you? Are you okay with this? You have to. You could.
I agree.
You can risk it and go off assumptions, but it's communication.
And truthfully, even myself, I don't get offended pretty much when people find my wife attractive. That's a compliment to me.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Rick.
Because listen, it's a true story. Don't tell Colette. What happened was, we went to this. It was open market somewhere. And she's walking around and she's looking real cute right after church. I'm somewhere else looking at stuff. And she comes back to me disgusted. She says, you need to walk with me. I said, what's wrong? Some guy came up to me and looked at my toes and says, hey, popsicle toes. I was laughing.
Got a foot fetish. Foot fetish.
Listen, she's an attractive woman. My baby cousin recently, we went to the funeral. He sees her. He calls me a couple of days later. Hey, cousin. He says, hey, what's up, man? Yo, man, that's what, thank God for you and your wife. But, man, your wife, man, she doesn't age, bro. It's like, man, she's still fine as wine. He's going in for like 30 seconds. I said, hey. That's my wife. That's mine.
Right. This is good, Rick. Okay. See?
And you know what I say?
That's good.
No, you said your point. I didn't know. Go ahead.
No. I was just saying, overall, it's just this is how pretty much each relationship is conducted different. If you're secure in your person, you that's how it works.
Right.
Being secure is the key. So yeah, now if it's the other way around, I'll be honest with you. I don't know how she's going to react when somebody says something or whatever on a level of I'll say this in a disrespectful way. Right. What she feels is disrespectful, and to each his own. It's true. You have to be secure in yourself.
Dr. Collins.
Here's what I say, because actually my wife is more uncomfortable with others that may look at her than I am. Because what I say, like sometimes I may getting something out, she's walking ahead and you may have to walk by some men. And my response, when I do walk up and they see she's with somebody, is appreciate you, bro.
Right. No,
thanks, bro.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
No, but all in all, honestly, it's a blessing. Like you're mine. Now, as long as anybody saying nothing disrespectful,
right?
Right. I ain't let you say nothing disrespectful or get out of character. But just the fact that you noticed and you look and you, I expect you. I think it was one of these little. Never mind. I ain't gonna go into that. Song references. We don't want to never go air. But that you hit the nail on the head when Janine alluded to the communication.
Yeah,
because you can't just do what's cool for you. Because what people fail to realize when you're in a relationship, you're not just in relationship with yourself. Right. So you have to have some level of sensitivity to who you're with in a way that works for the two of you. Find that strong medium and operate in that space.
Absolutely.
Good. Okay. Number 6.
Don't be looking to see if they looking. You ain't even looking at them. You looking in. Don't be looking in my eyes. It's like let's get on another level right there.
Okay.
Yourself.
Your relationship will be as perfect as those on social media. Social media has gotten a lot of people in trouble.
It's a ruse. It's screens.
No.
Man, which is the truth, because how many social media accounts have we looked at and said, "Ooh, they don't look like they're doing too good." Most people post only the positive stuff.
Yeah, they love do not post the fantasy. Yeah.
True.
Social media is the most deceptive form of media in the world.
Yes.
And people that allow themselves to get caught up in the hype are deceiving themselves.
It's the biggest fake news.
Yeah, you don't even know. The pic you looking at is the 247 pics of the same shot after it had
airbrushed and
been edited. And oh my God.
Yeah.
Man, I know.
I don't do it.
On a couple level. My wife and I, we know a couple that they would argue. I mean, like cats and dogs. 5 minutes later, they posted something on the internet, right? Just posted on, pretty much on the Instagram. That's
happy anniversary, baby! I love you. Hope we have.
That's exactly how it is.
I hope we have many more. They divorced too, and they hate each other, or they cheating, or they would. Like, don't you know? I know, or I'm a bad handling my own money. Negro, I know where you live and who you live with.
Yeah, you can really go down a rabbit hole looking at social media. I love social media. I'm on social media a lot, but I have a realistic approach to it.
Yeah,
because I'm married. I know that it's not always fun and happy and la la la, right? So I don't care what you post. I know that it's not always all good at your house, whether you post it or not, right? So I don't look outside to anything as a goal.
Yeah,
I know that's right.
A lot of people drive themselves into serious depressions looking at social media.
Yeah,
like they really go through horrible anxiety, and they feel bad about themselves because they're looking at somebody else's post, and they think that means they're failing.
Yeah. And I feel bad for the brothers because, which I'll see, like some of the celebrities I follow, like with the Valentine's Day, it's so over the freaking top. 2 billion roses, and then he opens up this and it's $1 million in cash, and he goes to the net. People, that's so much. And I'm like, okay, what's the point of posting all of that?
Because I'm trying to show the people that knew me then. Look at me now. Look, you used to laugh at me. It's almost like a revenge game. Like I gotta prove something, and it really speaks to the insecurities. And even the insecurities, there was something I was going to allude to in the last question of the last tip that I didn't, as it relates to sometimes people that really always fighting over the fact you're looking at. Sometimes if a person is insecure with themselves and they see someone that they think really looks good and look attractive, they assume you would rather be with that. I know you're looking at that. And after that narrative goes on, and now you're on the attack and you don't even know who they say. You almost looking, well, where she at? God no. This was working. I shouldn't have missed it. But with social media, it's the same sense of insecurity sometimes. So don't be deceived by what it looks like. Thank God for it, but live your life.
Yep. And you know what? Some people will do more for their followers that they never meet than they'll do for family sitting right on the couch right next to them.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah, no, it's funny. You look at our the president before, President Obama and Michelle, perfect couple, as you see pretty much in the social media. But every couple goes through something. And this
Michelle talked about that. Yeah.
It was Latin Day at the White House, and this particular Latin singer was there. And she comes down from the stage and goes to Obama and asks him to dance with her salsa. He gets up and dances with her a little bit, and then he sits down. He went to say something to Michelle, and Michelle had her head turned this way while he's talking to her, and you can see her lips curled up. I was hollering because it's so common. It's no couple, it touches every couple.
Yes.
Try to pretty much make it in social media. I guarantee you it's going to come out some way, somehow. So just be real with yourself.
Yes.
Just be real. Man.
Just get secure. The issue is when you're insecure. That's why I can't do insecure people. You got to be, and it's not to say that we don't all have some insecurities, or we don't all get jealous, or we don't all have those moments, but just own them. That's the issue. Just own them.
Yeah.
All right, guys. 7 problems will resolve on their own. Oh, that's not. Hey.
That's like calling Disney World, and when you call them, they say, "Have a magical day."
You gotta work it.
You gotta work
it.
You gotta work
resolve on their own. Okay.
You gotta work through that love. Yes, ma'am.
Very unrealistic. And okay, guys, we're going through 11 unrealistic expectations in a relationship. Your partner doesn't need time alone with friends.
They need to get away from you.
Yes. Okay. Bye-bye.
Let them miss you.
Bye-bye.
Gotta go.
Like, don't you want to go
Don't you want to go
anywhere?
Please.
You ain't got nothing to do.
This is the key thing with men. Men want to be alone.
Oh gosh.
But they don't want to. No, men want to be by themselves, but not be alone. They want to just know that you're around. And know that they can call on you when it's needed. That's just men. That's usually how it works. As long as you're around, it's cool. But there are times, even with women, I got to get away from you. And I encourage it.
If you got a life, you guys should be working your purpose. You ain't got time for all. You should be, if you're working your purpose.
Look, you need time away.
You do.
Time apart.
Yes.
Time to grow, interact with other folks. Yep. Especially women interacting with other married women.
Yes.
Men interacting with other married men. I'm not saying kick your single friends to the curb. I was in a situation where there's a friend of mine who was married. And then it was like all of a sudden, because they were going to counseling or something, she was like, well, I really can't hang out with you anymore. And I was single.
Like you was a bad influence.
Right. And I'm like, so, I'm not saying kick your single friends to the curb. Yeah. But make sure that you are plugged in with some people, a group, a couple, whatever, so you can iron sharpen iron, you can grow and learn and share. But
believe it or not,
leave a house, go somewhere.
Go somewhere. Believe it or not, Janine, a lot of pastors do recommend that you don't hang around, if you're married, don't hang around with single people. A lot of pastors recommend that. Now, is that something that is like etched in stone that you shouldn't, or even biblical? No. But it's one of the key things that no matter what circle you're in, it has to be some advice, get away. The purpose of you getting away is not just getting away from your spouse, in my opinion, but it is to rejuvenate, miss each other.
Yeah.
You tend to miss each other.
If you're working your purpose, you won't have to worry about all of that. And getting your purpose together.
To Rick's point, because I want to add context to what he's saying. No, as pastors, we always encourage, especially newly married people, to have some married friends too.
Right.
Because you need somebody that can relate. Because here's what I say this to. Oftentimes I see this with women, so I'm not limiting it to. I'm just speaking of my experiences. So I want to speak to women on this regard. Your husband it's good for him to have other male, mature, spiritual relationships that also create a level of accountability.
There you go.
Because there's certain things he's not going to really talk about. What I mean, but y'all might fight about these things, so he's not going to get perspective because. But in these relationships, there's other man can be like, "No, dude, you tripping." Like I'm telling you, we as men, that helps. When you have other godly, focused, experienced male relationships that, because sometimes you can be so caught up in your feelings, you can't see beyond what you feel. When you need a fresh perspective from somebody who wants you to win. You don't have nothing to gain from you losing your marriage, your this. They're going to give you clear viewpoints and clear advice, and then you come. I'm telling you, ladies, if that's what you ought to pray for him, because he will come home from that gathering a better husband.
Yeah, always. And just to add to that really quick, it's one of the key things that even Pastor Hosea and I, when we get together, I'm Rick, he's Hosea, and we hey man, give me perspective on this. AB, that's life. And if not long ago, we got together with the group of guys and hung out, watched the game, talked about absolutely everything under the sky. Who's the better singer? Who's the better athlete? If you took this athlete from 1970 to 1990, who would be the best? We just talked about it. And what happens is when you build those relationships, not only does it build trust, but you're able to come away from with things from a different perspective. That as you go home, now you can deal with it accordingly because you got some advice in certain areas that you pretty much have hung out in.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
That's
I
good.
have to say one more thing because I'm in my feelings. I'm thinking back to the situation I was in where I was really close with this person and she was married. And when she made the announcement that she has to hang with married people, the relationship just kind of evaporated. Okay.
That's an extreme.
Fast forward, I get married. I have no desire to pick up where we left off or anything. Now I can understand if you got friends that are in the street, they causing drama and all that. We were going to the same church. You knew I was celibate. I'm trying to walk. I'm trying to get to where you are. And it really, it hurt me.
It should
to be kicked to the curb because when you needed me as a friend,
you were there.
I was there. You know, I think that there was the loss of a child. In that. In the, I was there for stuff, but to then be, it was kind of like being dismissed because I hadn't been chosen yet. I'm not putting any of that on her, but it did hurt me to be dismissed because no one asked me to take their last name yet.
Hey, so, let me ask you this, Janine. How well did you know her husband?
I was going to ask the same thing. Yeah.
I had hung out with him. I knew him, not very well. But
I'm wondering if he was the influence, because that happens too.
Okay.
I was going to say that.
Some men are dominating, and they don't want you to have friends. They want to keep you pretty much under their control, and it's safer.
He was definitely in the "we need the married friends" kind of thing, and that's fine.
No, but there's nothing wrong with that. But a friend of your caliber was not a hindrance to her marriage.
Exactly.
I agree with you, Jose. I think it was more control than anything else. That's just
and it just and it's never been the same. I mean,
because your character pretty much has spoken in her life, and obviously, if your name came up more than it needed, and it could be pretty much a boundary he wanted to pretty much put up to say, hey, for whatever reason, not so much that you're a bad person, but Father help me, he didn't want her to be influenced other than his voice. That's what I believe.
That is crazy. Let's see why I'm single. Okay, guys, like, subscribe, making up any excuse as to why I'm single. Y'all see, that's why I'm single.
It's who you marry.
What you said, that's why I'm single.
It's who you marry. It's who you marry.
I agree. I completely agree. Like, subscribe, and share our videos. And again, send your letters into betterfliesentertainment@gmail.com. I want to make sure I put those plugs in. Guys, these are so good. Okay, let's go to our next one.
Wait, before you move on, the reason why you pretty much said that is because you attract crazy men. Go ahead. Now you can go to the next.
You know what? I told you all my business is actually not. I've had some really good guy friends. I've just they were friend zoned from back in when I was a teenager. We
need to do a show about the friend zone.
Please, we do.
Yes, that could be. Yes, that's another one.
We need. There's some folks wandering around in the friend zone now. We need to rescue them.
Yeah,
true.
That's true. A lot, right there.
Your partner will always understand your intention.
No, ma'am.
Life would be so much easier. Look, what dreams may come.
It would be.
And sometimes your partner don't care about your intentions. He cares about what you did, not why you did it.
Right, it's true. It's true. Now, on the note, I'll give you this. I was proposed to Nicole. I had everything set up in my apartment. It was a studio apartment, Pastor Hosea. I had gotten one of those cake, pretty much holders or cake bases or whatever, and I turned it upside down. I put water in it. I put some candles in it, and I lit them all up and so forth. And I had got the ring, Hosea, and I told her we got baptized that day. Hosea, after pretty much I told her that earlier that day, listen, I got to go get a haircut. So, and I'll be back. So I was really getting the ring. I didn't have time to get a haircut, so I came back without a haircut. She said, where you been? I said, I was out I pretty much made up something because I didn't want her to catch up. Now, mind you, this is right before I was getting baptized. Anyway, so we get baptized, and that's in her mind, and she's upset. So I sat there, I'm going to take you to my house anyway, in my apartment, and I'm going to propose to you anyway. So I drove her to the house. I got her out, and she had attitude. She comes up. I sat there. She's at pretty much a Saturday. Now, mind you, it is a studio apartment. I had no furniture but a bed. Don't let your mind go there.
Bachelor pad.
How convenient.
That's what I could afford. I put her pretty much on the sat on the bed, fed her, and then I proposed to her. My intentions were good, but she misread what I was trying to do. She thought I was out there cheating, doing things. I was just trying to propose to the girl. She misunderstood.
Did she at least say yeah?
Listen, best believe that she boo-hooing saying yeah. You better believe she did. I would have said that. I would have took that diamond back and got my money back. Don't trip.
Diamond back.
Look. I took the diamond back and came home with a haircut.
I would have took that diamond back and got my $445 from Zale. Don't trip.
All right. Hey. Nice trip to the Bahamas. All right, guys. Yeah. So, and this is a really big one. We get caught up in. I hear this a lot, especially with women. He should have known. Right. He should have known I was down there. He should have. And I've been there. I have been there because we see the world as we have. What'd you say, Pastor? As we are.
As we are, not as it is.
And so we get caught up into those. What you should know. You ought to know.
Yeah.
So
it irks me. Oh, it hurts.
No, I am a big advocate of make it plain. Like I think I mentioned this before. My birthday is February 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Gary and I got together. Said, brother, check this out. February 13th, February 13th. February 14th, Valentine's Day. I won't see no red hearts. No red roses, none of that stuff on the 13th is birthday city.
So that's
how I get down. That's how
my dad used to do.
What if he wait till midnight? What if he wait till midnight?
Y'all, we wouldn't have had the opportunity to interview him on a previous show.
Yeah.
Well,
but I didn't expect him to know that. I told him
I agree.
what I liked, how I like it. And look, his mother's birthday is on Valentine's Day. So we just can't make assumptions, or we'd never be speaking again. We got to go into that season with plans.
I got to pray for that.
What
But you know what, Janine? I really like that because that's been an issue I know with me because I'm very direct. I like what I like, and I'll tell you what I like. But people get offended by that. Well, just let me know. I mean, if then I got to fake that I like what you did when I could have just told you what I like.
The reason why, because there's some expectations that y'all give that it's like left field.
I'm gonna tell you. This is what I'm going to tell.
Hey, what is this segment called?
Unrealistic.
We should put Z's unrealistic.
I will tell you. It's so simple to me. Like when Janine, when my birthday came, my niece was like, "What are some of the things you like?" I like this, and I like to be in bed by this time. And I promise you, I don't know midnight nothing. I don't da 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 da. She was like, "Bet."
Run away.
No, I don't. It's fun to me. She took me out on my birthday. It is
everybody's born on her birthday but her.
That's what I like, and I don't think that's bad. That's what I like.
She don't care. Everybody in the whole house is bored.
Big time.
It's my birthday.
We're gonna play bingo.
It's my birthday.
B7.
I do got bingo. Oh, Rick, I just bought bingo. I promise you everything.
Don't tell me that.
I got bingo.
Give me these last two unrealistic expectations.
Andre is 73 years old. That's what I just said.
I don't care. I like bingo. Okay.
Bingo.
You can say things you don't mean when you're upset.
Not if you want to stay together. You can rattle off a choice few words, and we'll tell our attorneys.
My take on this are the things you said when you were upset really things you don't mean?
Right.
How would you know?
Or is that a convenient time to get it out there?
Right.
So I can blame it on the fact I was upset.
Right. Right.
I ain't never liked your mammy anyway. No, you don't really like her.
No, you know what? That all plays into how the art of arguing, right? Yeah. And that's why it's good to talk ahead of time and set some ground rules. And I don't believe that you can really, in every situation that comes up, be so upset that you just fly off the handle and say things you don't mean. There'll be one or two times where you are tick, tick, boom, but you
don't say things you don't mean.
You choose.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think
you
Yeah, you don't say things you don't mean. You just regret you said it.
Yep. I was just going to say that.
That's what it is.
Yeah, you regret that you said it. Like I shouldn't have said it.
The method that everybody needs to use, and I'll say specifically with men, because we say 3,000 words less than women on a daily basis. Walk. Hey, sir, walk away.
And woman, let him.
There we go. Let him walk away. Don't chase him.
Don't be stopping him.
Don't do that.
You're going to sit here. You ain't going out that door. You're going to finish it. Let him go.
Yeah. I agree. I've been on the other end of that.
I'm not excusing this. Y'all, please know I'm not justifying it ever. No. But a lot of domestic violence situations have occurred as a result in trying to leave and trying to force him to stay. Move, get off of me. And then it get, oh my God.
Yeah.
I agree.
Many of that.
Yeah. I agree. And I think a lot of it too, we brought this up before, Janine, is how you were raised. Like you were raised, Pastor, I was still laughing at that.
What happened?
When she said, remember when Janine was saying like how
I remember.
I don't know what y'all talking about.
Wait a minute. You were saying how we don't cuss each other out. We don't do none of that when we're arguing. No. And you jumped in and said you had a good childhood. And I kept laughing because I come from a different childhood. It don't get good till you talking about each other's mamas. Like,
hey, I was admiring. Like, what's that like?
That's what I'm saying. That's why communication is. I'm over here in tears.
Like,
I'm over here in tears. because that's and this, in all seriousness, that's the issue with my niece and I. When you come from a different background, with my dad, who whatever comes up comes out, and will tell you exactly how. Herbert Wilson and dementia is the same. It's just magnified.
Wow.
I only could imagine.
My father, oh my. So that's all I know. So when you're raised like that, that's all I know. I don't know how to be fake and phony, and so, and also to tell you exactly how I mean. Like my father will give Christmas gifts back. Like I'm like this.
You need to read the Bible.
Wait.
He hurt my little feelings.
You need prayer.
He did get Christmas gifts back. He wasn't trying to be mean, though. He wasn't trying to be mean. I'm just telling you, coming from where I came from. He wasn't trying to be mean. He was like, "Oh, this is too big. I can't use this," because he was a little guy. He didn't.
But that's your harvest.
That's it.
Girl, give us this last tip.
Oh, God, I'm in tears. Your partner would change for you.
Oh, you might want to cut it off. All right, that's enough. That's the end of the show.
Bye, y'all.
This is unrealistic.
Ain't nobody changing for you.
What? People really believe that.
Counseling,
that you will change.
They won't change for Jesus. Who are you?
Listen, there are couples. True story. I'll be real quick.
Oh God.
Woman said that we're going to not renew our vows, but we're going to do a wedding here in the state. They got married overseas. They want to do something here locally. So they were having some problems. So 2 months before the wedding, and then the question came up. It's like, what are your expectations of him? He said, I need you to fix him. I said, what? I need you to fix him. I'm like, what do you mean fix him? What does that mean? She said, yeah, we have a wedding in a couple of weeks, and we have to look like we happy. And I was like, what?
You need to find you somebody.
Understand that me and Cole looking like each other. Like, I promise you, there's some time. Let me tell y'all something. Don't push your pastor, because there's another side to him you have not seen yet.
Gangster, my pastor's gangster king.
Listen,
I agree.
We had to pretty much sit there and just have a real talk. I said, do you want him to change? And there was some other stuff going on. Him to change because y'all want to look happy on your wedding? She said, yeah. I said, do you realize, you're in
y'all
this?
Don't need to be getting married.
He said, no, he needs to be changed.
No,
but you know what? For number 11, but seriously, all seriousness, Devon and Megan, because when I was listening to some of their interviews after and this is her own words, after their counseling, she used to smoke. It was a lot of things that she changed that he said he wouldn't marry if she did it. I'm like, okay, why are you even dating her?
See, the problem is when somebody does change for you, not for themselves, for you. What happens to the day they're upset with you?
Right.
The attachment was based on how they felt about you on that day, and that was it. Then this is going to be shifting all throughout the relationship.
Yeah.
You should change to be who God created you to be. You should be changing to be more conformed to the image of Jesus. You should be changing to be the best version of yourself, not changing to make somebody else happy. That will never last.
Yeah. You see, and you see.
The hypocrisy comes in. You're constantly changing for the other person, and then you live in a double life.
Yeah,
one way on social media,
and
then you're something different behind the scenes.
Yeah,
that becomes detrimental to you. So you don't change for somebody. Don't do that. Do it because God is changing you, or you want to change for the Lord, but not no one else. Don't do that.
Oh, all right. Well, guys, of course, we're not going to be able to get through the 11 realistic. So we're going to have to do another show with the 11 realistic expectations. These were the 11 unrealistic. These are the 11 unrealistic expectations. So, guys, like, subscribe, and share our videos. Subscribe to our channel. Tell people about us, and again, send your letters into betterfliesentertainment@gmail.com. So, okay, guys, final thoughts. Then we're gonna wrap this up. And final thoughts, Pastor Jose.
Yeah, Pastor Rick is me. Really quick, this was a counseling session for Zandra. No one else. That's all it was. Keep things realistic in your life. Don't fluff them up. Like it's not going to work unless you keep things firm to the ground, for the lack of better words. Keep your head out of the sky.
Here's a song.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Keep your head.
Don't sing it. Don't sing it.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Dr. Collins.
See, I resisted. I just named the artist. Y'all want to be Philip Bailey and
Maurice White. Yeah. Verdane.
Anywho, all right, the show on expectations. The only way you can have realistic expectations is when they're based on actual track record and history of that person. If you're basing your expectations on anything other than who that person has been, they are unrealistic. Yeah. That's not a realistic expectation. That's a wish. You wishing on a star is what you're doing.
Right.
And here's the game that I prove, the game that I play to prove it. So everybody in the audience, everybody on the show, we're gonna play this game called Fill in the Blank. I'm gonna name 3 things. You fill in the blank. 5, 10, 15,
20,
2, 4, 6,
8,
1, 2, 3,
19.
That's my point right there. Now everyone knew that it was 4. Why? Because you followed the pattern. Now, when Janine says 19, what question comes to your mind? Why in the heck would you expect 19? Let me tell you the mistake people make. Because I want 19.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been praying for 19.
Yeah.
Because I've been waiting on 19.
Yeah.
But if it was 1, 2, 3, and you expected 19, you set yourself up to be the fool. Because they have given you no real indication that 19 was finna follow. Yeah. So if you want a realistic expectation, base it on the track record and the history. Oh, I get it. I hear your question. Can't people change? Of course. But I'll change my expectation when your pattern changes.
Oh.
Not one time. Consistency is the key.
Yes, sir.
Amen. All right. Miss Janine.
Let's see. I think that unrealistic expectations are the quickest way to ensure that none of your expectations are met.
Very true.
That is very, very
I
true.
think people are afraid to have conversations, to talk about the real serious hard stuff because they want it to be floofy and fluffy, and when you have the hard conversations, it's like popping the balloon.
Yep.
Go ahead, because if you don't have those conversations, then you are dealing with all those unrealistic expectations that become unmet expectations that leads to, oh, well, we're just not right for each other. No, you just never talked about stuff.
Right. That's the truth. That is so true. That's
Amen.
good. Oh, wow. Okay, guys. This has been another amazing show with the squad. So we're going to have to come back. We didn't get to those 11 realistic. So coming to a show near you will be the 11 realistic expectations per genre. So guys, stay tuned. Again, like, subscribe, and share our channel. Again, send your letters into betterfliesentertainment@gmail.com. Until next time, see you on Shit.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.